How does one get possessed?
Yes.
Oh yeah, of course. The two biggest ways are dabbling in the occult.
What does that mean?
Playing with demonic things, Ouija boards, going to a psychic, tarot cards, or actual occult worship of the devil. Those are pretty much immediate open doors that you're gonna have demons come right in.
Today, we're looking at TikToks that will make you believe in ghosts.
Videos that will make you believe in ghosts, part 1.
Okay, so the video I'm about to show you is extremely disturbing.
It shows a very young baby being tormented by a ghost in the middle of the night.
Do you guys believe in ghosts? These TikToks will 100% change your minds, from eerie encounters to real life ghosts caught on live. I would like to say thank you to all the channel members for support. Our like goal is 3,000 likes, and as y'all know, we're on our road to 100K, so make sure to join the fam and sub up. Let's go.
Coming out and they're saying again that Jesus' body has been found inside of a pyramid in Egypt. I don't know if last time they made this headline it didn't get that much attention, so they had to come and do it again 3 months later. But y'all already said this, and we already proved this is false. Why? Because Jesus ascended to the Father, and his body is nowhere to be found on earth. Nowhere. They're trying so hard to disprove the divinity and the Godhead of Jesus Christ that they are still saying that his body is found in the inner chambers, might I add, inside of a pyramid in Egypt. Isn't it interesting that in the King James Version of the Bible, it specifically says, this is Jesus talking in Matthew 24, it says, where therefore if they shall say to you, behold, he is in the desert, do not go forth. Where is the pyramids in Egypt? In the desert. Behold, he is in the secret chambers. Jesus says, believe it not. Chambers. And what are they saying? They're saying that he's in the secret chambers. He's in the chambers of the pyramids. Isn't it interesting that Jesus said, hey, I think people will probably believe this if I don't respond to it 2,000 years before it happens. So 2,000 years before they're saying where he's found, he's telling you, they're gonna say I'm in the desert, that's where the pyramids are, and they're gonna say I'm inside of the inner chambers of these pyramids in the desert. I am not there. Telling us they're gonna say this, and they came and they're saying this. The enemy would have knew this if he read his Bible. But clearly the enemy didn't read his Bible. Jesus is risen, he has ascended to the Father, and he's at the right hand of God as we speak right now. Do not believe it when people say he is there, and he is, no. But one thing I will tell you that is a guarantee, he is coming back. And he's going to come back, and he's gonna respond to those people who said his body was in the inner chambers. Come on now. Don't be foolish.
Dude, my first thought is, how do you even know that's Jesus's body? Like, do you just have Jesus's DNA in like a lab somewhere and they just test a part of Jesus in the tomb and they were just like, it matches. Like, you know what I'm trying to say?
You can't sell your soul. You know why you can't sell your soul?
Because it doesn't belong.
You don't own it. He'll trick you into thinking that, and then that puts the person in despair. One of the worst cases I've ever heard was from the Exodus of New York City back about 15 years ago. There was a woman, a young girl at Juilliard, a violinist, and she was about to graduate. She was brilliantly talented, but all of her friends were getting job offers and she had none. And her friends remember always hearing her say the words, I would do anything to be famous. Well, guess who's listening? Your angel's listening, but also there's other things in the room. And it wasn't long after that she went to bed one night, had a dream, and she said in the dream was the most beautiful man she'd ever seen naked, another sign, calling card of the devil. And he said, do you really want fame and power? And she said, I do. And he produced a contract, and he took his finger and slashed her finger and had her sign it in her blood. And then he touched the contract and it burst into flames. When you wake up from that dream and you remember it, you might take a pause and be like, I don't think that was a good thing. But what's worse is her finger was cut and the ashes were next to the bed. She still doesn't say anything. So within a couple of weeks, she signs this multinational tour, makes a ton of money, becomes very popular and famous on this circuit. And within a few years, she gets involved with drugs, goes to needles, gets HIV. Now she's dying in a New York hospital. And this whole thing comes back to how this started. And she calls her Filipino mother and tells her the story. And mommy calls the chancery, hysterical. I need an exorcist right away for my daughter. They tell him the whole story from the dream forward, and he says, okay, well, that's not good. You signed a blood covenant with the devil. So I'm gonna need you to break that with the blood covenant. So you're gonna write out the whole creed, and then you're gonna sign it in your blood. Well, the doctor's like, she has AIDS, she's not signing anything in blood, not gonna happen. And he says, well, then you need to step out of the room because she needs to do this. And she did do it, and she signed the contract, the creed, and she convulses and flatlines and dies. So now the doctor comes back and he's really upset. The mother is out of her mind. They're all blaming the priest. Hysteria goes on for about 10 minutes. And then all of a sudden she jumps up off the table. She's back. And they test her. No HIV, no AIDS. She's completely healed.
Selling your soul is always such a weird concept to me because it's like, why is it so structured in a human format where you got to sign a contract? Like, I feel like signing a contract is such a human thing. Just like, here, these are the lists, just don't break this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Selling souls to me, I don't necessarily think it's necessarily about the devil. I feel like selling souls is more like you sign yourself away to something, if that makes sense. Like, for example, it always goes around with artists and actors, so that they might sign, you know what I'm saying, their self-respect. They might get diddied pretty much for a couple million.
According to some remarkable new research, right at the moment of death, you hover above your body, floating and seeing the whole scene. You then have the opportunity to go through the tunnel of light into the spirit realm, but not all souls do. Some souls choose to stick around on Earth, just floating around, viewing different scenes, watching Earth's reality unfold. Some of those lingering souls can be felt by other people, which is where the concept of ghosts comes from. Are these souls stuck here forever? Do they need a ghost whisperer to help get them out and help them move on? According to Dr. Michael Newton's research in this field, all souls have spirit guides that are always with them, always making sure they are okay. They are there when we pass on to be our guide, and they're always there to guide us into the spirit realm through that tunnel of light. However, free will is honored even after you die. So if you want to stay on Earth, you can. Their suggestions to move on do get more compelling and strong over time, but the soul still has the option to stay on Earth for hundreds of years if it wants. What would you do? Let me know in the comments. Would you just stick around on Earth? Would you visit loved ones? Would you hang out and watch this reality unfold? Or would you just go straight to the spirit realm and be like, peace, I'm out? And if you're not following, tap that follow button. And if you'd like to learn about your own past lives, you can do my free past life hypnosis masterclass.
What's the scientific evidence that ghosts exist? Although I have an open mind, here are some scientific answers for things that go bump in the night. There's some science to suggest that pulse magnetic fields, imperceptible on a conscious level, make people believe there's a presence in the room. This could be because of unusual activity patterns in the brain's frontal lobe. Another is infrasound, a sound so low humans can't hear it, but animals can. We know that low frequency vibrations can cause physiological discomfort. Low frequency vibrations such as wind turbines and traffic can induce panic and changes in blood pressure and heart rate. And various other effects that someone could associate with being visited by a ghost. Mold, fungus, decay. These substances found in so-called haunted locations may produce toxic chemicals which have a profound effect on the brain, resulting in irrational fear and paranoia. And sometimes we just want to believe. We want to believe in life after death. We're generally not very comfortable with our own mortality. Confirmation bias is a powerful thing.
What was the scariest thing I've ever encountered out in the woods? Well, this one gives me the chills just talking about it. But one time I was out deep on a logging road, and just one of those nights where you got the heebie-jeebies, and the weather was I had forgotten a couple things anyways, so I just convinced myself, you know what, you had a fun drive up, but it's not worth it. Go back into town, come back tomorrow night. So on my way out of the logging road, probably 12 o'clock at night, I've never seen anybody out here. I've never seen anybody out here. Not even ATVers, nothing. I've never even seen Ministry of Natural Resource guys out here. And I see truck lights down an ATV trail. So I park the truck at the mouth of the ATV trail. I look in, and I'm wondering if they're stuck or something, because the truck is running, and the lights are on, and it's late at night, so I'm wondering if they're bogged down, because that happens to you sometimes, and you got to figure it out. So I approach the truck, and there's nobody in it. The back gate is down, and there's shovels, and I look off into the distance, and I see what I believe to be headlamps. So I call out I said, hey, I was just checking on you, making sure everything's all right. So what happened was, the headlamps turned off. Nobody responded to me, and I immediately got shivers down my spine, and I knew something was up. And then I thought about the shovels. I've never seen anybody out here. Then I looked at the truck, didn't even have fucking license plates on it. And my shotgun's in the truck and I'm about a 25-meter dash to the truck. So I'm panicking now and I start booking it, but I start booking in different directions and I trip and fall like a... I get up, I see my truck, I book to my truck, I fumble in the back grabbing the shotgun, I load it, and just as I go to put my shotgun up, the truck is ripping down the road right at me. I get into my truck, I throw it into reverse, and the truck comes right out of the mouth, almost takes off my front end, and just keeps on going. And buddy, if there was any time in my life I was prepared to shoot someone to defend myself, it was that time. That was the scariest time. That was the scariest thing I've ever experienced out in the woods. Again, it's not always animals or aliens that are the scariest things out in the woods. It's people.
I'm about to show you a compilation of super scary videos. No one has been able to watch it completely from the start to the end. Let me know how far you get.
Yeah, I would definitely say there was a lot of questionable videos in that one. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. Nowadays, you can't even differentiate AI generated content from real content, but I doubt I doubt some of those.
These are photos that will make you believe in ghosts, part 1. Up first is this picture. This person was exploring an abandoned hospital when they randomly took a picture of some hallway. But if you look in the back right of the photo, you can see what appears to be the silhouette of a ghostly woman. The ghost only appeared on camera and not in person. Next up is this photo. This woman is taking a picture of herself in the mirror, but if you look behind her, you can see what appears to be a demonic girl. This photo is extremely chilling, not only for the fact that there's a ghost in it, but because look how scary that ghost looks. It's like a sleep paralysis demon. Finally is this photo. This girl was taking a picture of herself with her laptop webcam when it suddenly picked up a ghost in the background, or some sort of demon. Either way, it's equally terrifying, and I don't know what I would do if I took a photo and I saw a ghost behind me looking like that.
Now that I've seen it, I can't unsee it. So the other day, a Reddit user posted this photo to Reddit. It's of his apartment at night. He had been complaining of hearing rustling noises in his apartment over the last couple nights. Many users thought they could kind of see something in this area of his kitchen, but I couldn't, so I looked at the brightened version. This is the photo brightened. And I know what you're gonna say, yes, it does look like Keanu Reeves, but look at how tall he is compared to the fridge. But it gets so much worse. This is a video he took of his apartment at night where you can see something happen to the light in the kitchen. But let's look at the brightened version. Yes, it's terrifying, but is it a ghost?
May all the evil spirits here leave this home. You are not welcome here. You're not welcome in our home anymore. Please leave me and my family alone. Find your way out of this home. Oh my God. Leave us alone!
Bro, with the baby crying in the background, it just added so much weirdness to that whole vibe. I don't know. In my head, it's always just like with the ghost, it's like, why do they gotta knock over house equipment? Like, it's such a weird way to just like make yourself known in a sense.
But the scariest experience that I've had, I was laying in bed.
Videos that will make you believe in ghosts, part 1. Okay, so the video I'm about to show you is extremely disturbing. It shows a very young baby being tormented by a ghost in the middle of the night.
Dude, either someone was holding that kid up or that balance is insane. He needs to do gymnastics, acrobatics. That's crazy.
How does one get possessed?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, of course. The two biggest ways are dabbling in the occult.
What does that mean?
Playing with demonic things, Ouija boards, going to a psychic, tarot cards, or actual occult worship of the devil. Those are pretty much immediate open doors that you're going to have demons come right in.
Psychics are demonic.
Yeah, they're not channeling your dead relatives. Right now, we have at least 3 guardian angels in the room. There's also probably demons in this room, and they're listening, and they hear every bit of what we're saying. When somebody says, well, the psychic told me my mother shared this with me when I was 10, and nobody ever knew that but us. So it has to be my mom, except for the demons in the room who also heard it. And now they're impersonating your mother. If your mother's in heaven, she's having a good day, she doesn't want to come back and visit you, as much as mothers love their children. If she's in purgatory, she needs our prayers to get her moved into heaven. And if she's in hell, there's no getting out. It's not your mother.
Wow.
They can put up a good show, and it's very, they can also place thoughts in our minds, and they can manipulate our emotions.
There are certain rules to tunnel warfare. Don't turn on the light unless you're really, really, really sure you're alone. Use your senses. Do your first as quietly as you can. That means don't shoot. I chased somebody into a tunnel, met them at a bend in the corner in the dark. I thought I was alone, and then I smelled their breath. And we had a wrestling match in the dark, and I got the upper hand and crushed this person's trachea, held him down while he died, and then got out. To death in a tunnel, in the dark. But that wasn't the only casualty. The other casualty was the civilized version of me.
We're asleep, and she gets up to go to the bathroom, and I'm like, oh man, I have to go to the bathroom too. So I'm gonna go to the bathroom in the main bathroom outside the room. I go out, I come back in, and I'm like, why'd you turn my light on my side of the bed? Like, are we going to bed? Like, we're in bed. She's like, I didn't do it. I thought you did. I'm like, okay, well, somebody's trying to get our attention. My phone rings. It's my little sister. She says, hey, Bob, sorry, are you awake? And I'm like, I am now. And I go, my light just came on. She goes, that's why I was calling you. She said, is Nicole there? I'm like, yeah. She put her on speaker. She said, Nicole, I don't want to get personal, but, and this is how the conversation went. Did your mom have miscarriages before you? And she's like, yeah. She goes, I'm seeing 3. And the reason why I'm saying that is there are 3 people in the room right now trying to get your attention. And they're your 2 brothers and your sister that weren't born. And they're in the room right now with you. Talk to them. So I did. She did. She's like, this is crazy. But I'm like, no, go ahead. Just talk to them. So she's talking. Then I take 1, 2 pictures while she's talking. That's the one green with the dresser.
Oh, that was
we
that.
saw that outside of the picture, and we both were too scared to look.
And this is right after the phone call.
Right after the phone call. So we take that photo, and the both of us see it outside of the photo, and went, "Oh my God!" Like, I was afraid to look,
right,
to see if I got it, because neither one of us even. It didn't matter if I got it on the phone because we saw it in person. And then what we saw is on this side, I had a little short dresser, and we see one just go down the dresser, and with no taking no photos. And so those kinds of things kind of, was one of those things that freaked her out.
Corey, this one will freak you out. Okay. So the story goes, this guy is pig hunting and he's using a thermal scope. He's been on this field all night, hasn't seen anything move. He's like, you know what? I'm going to get up from this tree. He was like on some brush and he's like, I'm going to go across the field. And he's sitting there for a while, and then out of nowhere, a little blob shows up. He's like, here we go. The pigs are coming in. He's locked in. He's ready, for the thing to show itself. But then it gets up and he realizes that this infrared blob is humanoid. And he said it appears to look like a naked human, goes over to the tree that he was just sitting against and starts checking it out or sniffing it. And the guy is across the field just going like, I don't understand what I'm looking at. Then the thing is on all fours, postures up like it's about to howl, and then in a woman's voice goes, help!
Oh gosh.
Help! Continues to do it. The dude fires one way over the top of this thing's head, and then it goes, I'm injured, help! And then he sends another one. It runs, and he sends a couple, and he's like, it ran away from where my truck is, goes back to his truck, never goes in that field again.
Yeah, I hate that so much.
Said it was a naked humanoid, crawled up and was sniffing the tree the dude was just sitting on. It had been stalking him.
In the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Ugh.
This video will make you believe in ghosts. Okay, so we all are definitely scared of ghosts and hope we never encounter one. But the video I'm going to show you shows a little girl playing with her imaginary friend, but once her dad enters the room, it disappears.
Amy.
I understand that when kids are young, their minds are very imaginative. I wonder if imaginary friends is like a early sign of schizophrenia. I mean, I don't know. I never had an imaginary friend growing up, and I never knew anyone with imaginary friends. So I'm just like, is that like a mental? I don't know. If you guys had imaginary friends, let me know if you have any symptoms of anything.
Everybody says that this picture made me believe in ghosts. And I'll show you the picture. I'll show you the picture. So a trending picture going on Facebook, right? And there was it was a dad, a kid, and a wife in like a park. So they uploaded the photo, and I'm gonna show you it.
Yeah.
Here.
Let me see.
So they're just at a park. You see the dad, you see the kid.
Yeah.
Right?
I see. Okay, where's the ghost though?
Fam, if you look in the top left, oh shit, there's a woman
Actually,
there.
that's not a person. That's just like taking the
No, there's a woman there, right? And the wife is taking the picture. The wife confirmed on Facebook there were only 3 people there. Now, this is where it gets weird because it's like on the news a year ago, a person died in that lake and the body was buried in that lake.
And it looked like her.
And look what it looks like.
Yo,
so this lady is supposed to look exactly like this lady.
Bro, you don't want to fucking look at it.
I know, it's weird, fam.
I've been a paramedic for almost 15 years, and I've had one call that has convinced me that ghosts are real. So buckle up. I worked for a 911 agency. At a call, a signal 30, and a signal 30 on the radio stood for an unattended expiring. It took them a while to be found. So in this instance, we got called for a signal 30. Mama lives by herself, and the mailman, after about a week of mail stacking up in the mailbox, the mailman finally called the sheriff's office for a welfare check. The sheriff's office got there, found that Mama had expired, and so they called us. And we have to confirm that she had expired. Of course, it was hot. She had been in there for a little over a week. She had a pet. So I'll let you put 2 and 2 together, or 3 and 3 together, however you want to do that. She came out of the house, flies everywhere. I put some vapor rub in my nose and put a mask on, so I was taking that off. And I look across the street, and there's like a row of mailboxes across the street. So like everybody on that street gets their mail from the same spot. The little old lady was over by the mailboxes, and so I went over there to go check on her. I said, is everything okay? Do you need anything? And she said, well, is Miss So-and-so okay? Mamaw that expired, she's, I think the ME came back and said that she had been gone for about 7 to 9 days so far. So just keep that in mind. She's been expired for about 7 to 9 days. And I have this conversation with the lady across the street. She says, everything okay with Miss So-and-so? I said, no, unfortunately, she's gone. She said, normally we come out here and check the mail, but we do every day at 5 o'clock and kind of, talk for a few minutes, and then we go our separate ways. She said the past like 4 or 5 nights, all she's been doing, she noticed that Mamaw was at the front window of the house gesturing to come inside. And that was last night, and the night before that, and the night before that. And Mamaw has been gone over a week. You put 2 together, that made the hair stand up on the back of my neck. And I don't think that lady realizes how lucky she is.
I didn't just see a hand. You mad or what? You mad I threw that helmet at you? Do it again. Make some noise. Show me you're real. Show me. Show me. Prove to me that you're do it. What, you mad? Show me. Swing some. Make them noises and you did when you woke me up. Do it. Do it. Do it. Oh my gosh, bro. Bro. Hey! Hey, chill the f out. I'm tired of your shit. Hey! Cut that shit off. Stop.
Yo, that dude's vocabulary was just like 2 words, just the F word, the S word, and maybe even the P word, so maybe 3. Like, dude, I'm trying to monetize this video. Can we not? It was a little bit funny though, because it's just so funny just how, like, say how men, like how we are, we're just like, come on, ghost, show me what you could do. Like,
Tell me a ghost story that sounds completely unbelievable but is entirely true.
I made this recording 10 minutes. I don't know if it's going to take that long, but this story is a rabbit hole and it made me believe in the paranormal forever. My boyfriend and I had a spiritual attachment for 9 months. Started about a year ago when we went to see his family in South Carolina and go to a cemetery. We went with the siblings to play Find My Grave with a spirit box. Find My Grave is basically like you ask the spirit box questions and see if the spirit like guides you to their grave, basically gives you clues and whatever. So we start doing this, and all of a sudden we hear these music notes coming out of a spirit box that were going da-da, da-da, and that was kind of the spirit's answer as yes, so like we would say, is your grave over here? It would go da-da, were you a man? Da-da. And then we were like, wait, were you a music teacher? And it goes da-da. So that was pretty crazy. Walked all around the cemetery trying to find this spirit, very active with us. And then all of a sudden, everything went silent for like 25 minutes. So then we were kind of like, okay, whatever, maybe this is BS. So we started to nickname this guy Music Man throughout this whole thing. So we, at the end, decided to leave. And we were like, okay, bye, Music Man. And after 25 minutes of silence, it goes, Dana. And we were like, holy crap. We go home. I used to work in an art gallery, which I believe was haunted.
So I turn on the spirit box. I was alone in the art gallery and I was like, is there anybody here? Whatever. And the first thing that happens is Dana. So I felt a little unsettled, but I was like, okay, maybe there's something wrong with the spirit box. Like this has just all been BS. Like it's just like a malfunction in the spirit box or whatever. Until I go on another ghost investigation with a psychic that I trust, and I go with my boyfriend. Turn on the spirit box, starts going, Dana. Spirit box, I'm seeing like a really old cemetery. I'm seeing a lonely man. I'm seeing a lost grave. You have something with you. And we were like, whoa, how did you know how many people were with us? You're seeing a lost grave? And she's like, yes, you have someone with you. He really likes your energy. He died alone. Yada, yada, yada. And we're like, oh God. And so during this time, the spirit box is going, Dana, 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 Dana. Okay. Fast forward to our next ghost investigation. We are in Griffith Park, and I have this on camera. I will post it again so you can see. So we're doing a ghost investigation. We hear the Dana, Dana, Dana over and over again. Finally, and I have this on camera. Music Man. He started to identify what we were calling him, his nickname. And I start crying. I get really emotional, and I'm like, you know your name is Music Man. How? And then he finally speaks for the first time, and he has this accent. And he goes, I'm proud of it. Over and over again, I'm proud of it. And he goes, family, and all this kind of stuff. And it made us really emotional. Yeah, okay. So here's the next thing. We do another ghost investigation. At this point, like, you know it's him. Okay, I don't even really know how to describe it. But anyways, he starts to send us a message. During this ghost investigation, and I have this all on camera, he says the number 34 at least 25 to 30 times. He keeps going 34, 34, 34, 34, and we're like, what are you trying to tell us? So then the next day, I'm going on an Instagram live. I also have this on camera. And I turn on the spirit box and I'm telling my audience what was going on with the 34 thing. And all of a sudden, in front of everyone on the live, he starts saying 34, 34, 34. So many people saw this happening. And I looked at plot lines at the cemetery we were at. I looked at codes. I looked at angel numbers. And I looked at everything. And I still haven't found the real answer to what 34 was, okay? But this gets even better, so just keep watching. At this point, I'm just using Music Man in my ghost investigations. I'm like, hey, can you see if there's another spirit? Like, can you bring them out and whatever, and can you protect it? My boyfriend's looking for something for me for Christmas, and I love the Misfits. They're like one of my favorite bands, and he is at a vintage store. And in the back of a rack is this shirt, no context, Misfits font, and it says Music Man. But it was weird. Why was that sitting in the back? This lady said at the store that it's been there for a while. No one knows where it came from or what it is. I know there's like the musical Music Man, but it didn't look like one of those theater musical shirts, right? Okay, I have it. I'll show it to you guys. Okay, this is the shirt, Music Man. There's nothing, no more information about it anywhere on the shirt. I go ghost investigating a store. I hear the Dana, and I'm like, hey, Music Man, like whatever. And he goes, present, in his voice, in his like howdy voice. I'm going like, what? Like, what are you trying to say? And he goes, Christmas present. He literally said Christmas present. He is such an intelligent, like he felt in a weird way like family, and I'm not trying to like sound crazy. I got info about him from multiple psychics, and they're like, no, he died alone. And like everyone I've told this story to feels like he was left on earth for some reason to learn a lesson, to figure out something, to be a part of something his life. Like he wanted to experience something. And now I think we went to the Clown Motel and he was there with us. I have it all on camera too on my YouTube. And I'm like, oh, that's Music Man. And he's going, Dana, Dana, whatever. He's like very reactive. And then all of a sudden after that, he hasn't talked to us since. And we're trying to wonder why, like what happened. And like sometimes we joke, we're like, oh, we miss him, whatever. And I mean, obviously, like, no, it's not good to like have an attachment around you all the time. But we wondered why, like, what was the moment? Like, why did he finally leave after 9 months of just trying to send us messages and being so responsive and being so aware of our lives? Like, I don't care if you guys don't believe me or not, but this is a very real thing that happened to me. And I have footage for most of this to back it up. So if you're curious to learn more, or if you know anything about why this happened or about the number 34, like, please let me know, because This is what made me believe in the paranormal. It was him saying Music Man on the spirit box, him sending us messages multiple times. So insane. And I'm still trying to just like figure it out. And I wish I knew the reason. But that's my story. Thank you for watching. If you watched this far, I appreciate it. And yes, this is the craziest paranormal story I have had so far.
You could tell based off of how she was talking about it that it was like a real story to her. Like it was something that genuinely happened to her, and she was just like you just. So I definitely get it, but I never had a spirit box, so I don't know. I mean, if you mess around with spirit boxes, doesn't that like give possessions? Isn't that what the other dude said? It was like when you mess around with demonic things, you might get possessed. I don't know, but based off of that story, it looked like she was with like a chill spirit, it looks like, in my opinion. If you guys like this video, YouTube said you would like this one.